What's happening, folks? It's me, Justin, and here's a little update for the sites, the programmatic SEO sites that were created last month. It's really going to be kind of a silly, there's not really anything notable to talk about here. Just kind of what I did, what was, what's working, what's hopefully going to be working, and then a couple concepts I thought up at the end. One being penned, we'll call it Trojan horse content, and the other kind of treating these programmatic websites like the auto industry treats vehicles. And we're going to talk about that shortly. So here's what happened last month. So of course, just started. This shit's brand new to me. And I'm loving it. I'm liking it. Experiment number one, we'll just call that G. Was launched October 12th. That was my first foray into programmatic SEO. And then the second experiment, number two, V, was an addition on a site that was more or less abandoned. We'll just say it was articles were on there. The traffic was pretty lackluster, so it wasn't really kept up with over the last few months. It's like a 10 or 11 month old domain name. And then on October 28th, I went on vacation, so I didn't do anything up until I got back in town yesterday. So yeah, away from the computer. So it's very, very good. So Project G, it's a brand new domain name, brand new URL, what have you. Really, there's two pushes of content at about 23-ish thousand pages a piece. Well, there's really four pushes of content, two in one kind of. I hate trying to talk about this shit without being able to actually just say what it is. But anyway, conversion calculators, tools, useful tools for people. The biggest struggle I'm going to have with this site and this project is monetization. And I think I might be talking about a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah, it's just going to be monetizing the site's going to be a pain in the ass just because although, and I know this isn't a good indicator of whether you will be or I will be approved, but there are other sites that are doing something basically the exact same thing that have display ads on them. But for whatever reason, I just keep getting denied for AdSense. I've gone to alternative networks, get denied for those. And I think it's just because the target demographic, target audience is younger. Teenagers to, like 16 to like 24 is like the age demographic that'll be primarily visiting the site. Right now, I think I went and I scraped the bottom of the barrel and I threw up some Amazon like native ads, whatever, like, hey, look at the content and see if you can pull something out of there that would be relative as a product. I haven't got any clicks, even though I'm getting traffic. So I think I might have to switch it up. I think I have an idea for that, for how to monetize this site. I'll talk about that shortly. Here's a couple screenshots that are lovely. So it's doing all right, for being, a few weeks old. We're already hit 20 clicks in one day on the 31st. I imagine it's because it's just going to continue to go up as more and more pages are actually being served and people searching, because I'm really ran the gamut here. If every single page on the site gets 10 page views per month, that'll be pretty nice. I'll be pretty cool with that. Although some will get more, some will get less. On average, I'd be geeked. It's also getting indexed on Bing now, which is also cool. I know, nobody gives a shit about Bing, but I kind of keep up. I do keep up with it just because, well, if something were to happen on the G, well, we still gotta look at the B. You know what I mean? So some screenshots there. We'll see what happens next month. Even if it's, if it maintains that 20 clicks per day on average, that's not a bad second month. So we'll see. I don't think I'll be adding any more content programmatically to this site. I was thinking about doing a few more pushes, but I think with just the pain in the ass that it is to get monetized, I think it'll just be kind of not necessarily a fruitless effort, but it's not going to be I'd be much better off spending that time doing another, programmatic experiment, we'll say. So I think content on here is almost there are like 5 or 10 more articles I want to create for the site that aren't going to be programmatic. Again, we'll talk about that soon. So next steps, I think for as far as display ads go, or not display ads, but monetization for the site, because I cannot get approved for display ads. AdSense won't approve me. I went through some really seedy, like aggressive ad networks, and they also end up declining, I'm pretty sure. Although one, I don't know if I'm actually, I had ads on the site for a few days, and it was earning, pennies, whatever, fractions of a penny, with the trickle of 5 to 8 people maybe in a day. But then I was like, all right, I'm going to remove this. And I can't remember what that site was. And I look through my emails and I can't find the approval email. I think I found it, but if it's the one I found, they denied the account, or they denied the website as well. So who knows? Maybe, if all else fails, I guess at the end, maybe this will just be, if monetization is just a pain in the ass, I'll just say, hey, here's what the website is. Here's the case study. Here's what not to do. So, but in the meantime, I looked, those old like Swag Bucks and like Survey Junkie, all those kind of sites where people can sign up and do surveys to make, 50 cents or whatever. So they offer like PPL incentives for referrals. So I think like Swag Bucks is like $2.80 per email. So all I need is somebody to sign up. So I mean, again, with the age demographic being more or less high school and college age people, well, typically those people could use a couple dollars. And I remember sitting like in college and seeing people like in class doing those surveys for 50 cents a pop. So I'm going to just put those on the site and, hopefully get some or generate some leads for those companies. These are the next steps. So Trojan horse content, I'll talk about that more at the end. I have 2 slides at the end. I'll just go into more detail, but basically what I'm going to be talking about, or what that is, so I think all these networks kind of look at the programmatically created pages as thin content, low value content, what have you. And that's understandable. I mean, it's basically, saying, I don't know, how much does this wallet cost? How much does this wallet? I mean, that's not what it is. There's words and everything like that, but it's not. I don't know. It's thin content. All right, it's whatever. So I think what I'm going to be doing, or what I'm going to do, is more or less generate or create, 10, 20 kind of quick, fast, boom articles. Put them out there. They're not meant to rank. They're not meant to get views. They're just meant to be stickied and shown at the beginning of like the blog roll. Because it's not like these companies can scan your site or anything like that, but it might be something where like, hey, have these articles on there first. Once you get approved, then put out the other stuff. So experiment with that. Again, these are all experiments. This is all we're testing the waters here. We're seeing what works, what doesn't work, and then assuming both of those go well, then we're probably just gonna let this marinate for months and then make some money. So Project V, this is the second push. And again, this is weird to talk about this part. This whole like, there's really nothing notable to talk about at all with either of these projects. This was pushed out on the 26th of October. It's on a site that I had already had created. It was already had like 90 articles on there, trickle of traffic, not really doing much. I'd get the monetization was kind of all over the place. Didn't really have a focus. It was like, oh, I'm just gonna go for it. So I put up 39,000 pages, where intro and conclusion are pretty unique, or at least they're customized per programmatically. Well, I guess we'll say that makes the most sense. And then the middle is just one reusable block that is the meat of the article, and it's done. It's affiliate play. So as you can see, there's nothing going on there yet. And this is, I only selected the new URLs here. So if they contained the I don't know, URL slug that's in all of those pages. So that's all we got. Nothing's going on there yet. It is showing up. These pages are showing up. I think like 35 out of the, like 35 out of the, thousands of pages are actually indexed. Which is okay. I don't expect it to, be instantly go mode. So, so this site is monetized, or these posts are going to be monetized with affiliate links to these services that are being talked about. In addition to that, there's a call to action at the end, because basically what I did for this one is I looked at, I had a list of every single city and state in the United States, every single city in the state, from Tampa Bay, Florida to Marion, South Dakota, every single state. And I made like a service page that, people in every single state could use, service in this city. Well, all the services that are going to be listed in that reusable block are online services. So they can go and, they click through. It's not a local service. It's an online, and they service anywhere in the world. And then there's a call to action at the end that says, hey, if you are this service in this city, reach out and we can include you on this post. And then that's basically what I'll do is, if they start indexing and start getting traffic and people look at those and, they reach out and say, hey, I want to be included on this. All right, $100 a month. We'll feature you first. And then, yeah, hopefully that works. Honestly, next steps for this, so the cool thing about this site was because it was set up and it looks good and all that. I'm getting approved for every single program that I'm applying for. It's not like something where you can just sign up and you automatically get approved. Some of them, they do like vet your stuff, which is great because that's kind of the old barrier to entry type thing. Because a lot of people just would rather just sign up for Amazon or whatever, and everybody gets approved. You know what I mean? So starting to, over the weekend or when I came back, check my emails, got a lot of approval emails. So I got to go into Share a Sale and Flex Offers and Impact and their own in-house affiliate programs and actually create those sections in that reusable block so it shows up in all those posts. It's really not that big of a I think time, or I'm not strapped for time. I got to get this done fast because all this traffic is coming in, because you see average position 51. So I got to do that, over time, and then come up with the next push. The cool thing about, having this list of states, I can just come up with anything. I could have best knife sharpener in Tampa Bay, Florida, top 10 or whatever the thing was, best, any service I can think of, best glass blower, best cell phone repair, blah, blah, blah. I can create those pages or whatever. And because I'm just doing it for every single page or every single city, like I'm not just focused on, okay, New York City, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Denver, Seattle, Miami. I don't have to just focus on those. As long as the service that can be offered, it can be online. Because again, then at the end, the call to action saying, hey, come back and if you want to be on here, $20 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever the case is, actually make some money, if not through, some affiliate program, but hey, here's an invoice. So we got that going on. So Trojan horse content, I'm not moving my face. I don't care. I said it. So Trojan horse content, I kind of explained it already, but it's not like terrible content. It's not just lorem ipsum crap, but it's not content that's really necessarily meant to rank or to be read, really. It's just there almost as a Well, a Trojan horse. It's the horse. Whereas all the content that's ranking and moving is inside. So I mean, in my mind of minds, I'm looking at like 1 cent per word, or like AI generated and like edited, not just blasted and whatever, but like, hey, kind of fluffier pieces. Let's see, I'm trying to think. 10 reasons you should use a leather wallet, or something like that, where that's not going to rank for shit. It's a fun thing. It's something that would almost like would appear on some like cybersecurity company, like their local blog. We won an award for the best blah blah blah. Like, nobody's gonna read that. Nobody cares about that. But we'll have those stickied so they show up first. Just so I can include like posts in the or blogs in the menu, and then when people click on that, they don't just see Akron, Ohio, Abilene, Texas, same thing 50 fucking times. They get some variety, and somebody goes to page 3 or 4. All right, whatever. The cat's out the bag. The jig is up. But I'm thinking, if I start another site, if I start a new site, start with 20, 30 of these quick hitter. Maybe invest $300 and get 30,000 word articles that are just there, get approved, and then hit them with the programmatic. And if it gets disapproved, okay, well, that experiment failed. Okay, it's an experiment. But always have, I don't know, just figuring out exactly how to get this stuff to work and work well, and make some money. And then I will move trading sites like the auto industry, right? And I feel this is especially applicable to programmatic sites, whereas like an article site, I've tried this before with article-based sites and like longer form content, and it does work. It's just a lot harder because, well, you have to write. Whereas this is you don't. So in my head, and I thought about this when I was driving back to town. I had a 5.5 hour car ride, so I had a lot to think about alone. So instead of like, so I tweeted about the first project, or maybe the second project, and I think Ian Nuttall, who's pretty significant as far as programmatic SEO goes, he gave me a list of like, hey, you should try these things out. Okay, if you have the location data, if you have the latitude longitude, you can have a programmer build you something where it will showcase the 20 nearest sites or whatever, things like that. So I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do that to this site, like their posts. I'm not a programmer. I'm not doing this in React and all this other, I don't know what the fuck is going on that end. So I'm like, what if I treated these programmatic sites like they're cars? You know what I mean? The difference between a 2021 Ford Edge and a 2022 Ford Edge is a few features, better gas mileage, some cool colors. But they don't stop selling the 2021 just because the 2022 came out. They still sell the 2021. And then when 2023, they'll still have the 2021. So instead of, either taking that site and drastically changing it, why not just leave it as is, let it do its thing, make a 2.0 version. They don't have to be related, as far as I don't have to sit there and say, this is an updated version of this other site. No, I just have that site doing its thing, and here's the better version of the site. And then once, when I come up, I wonder if that would work. Would that be a good idea? Here's the version 3 of the site. But version 2 and version 1 are still in the SERPs. They're still ranking. They're still doing their thing. Because if it's anything like this, where, a few weeks in, and we're already, I'm assuming that this traffic's going to continue going up and to the right. Why not have two assets that look like this? Assuming it was making money and actually was monetizing all that kind of stuff. Why not have 2 assets or 3 assets? And then if this one ranks 4th, well, maybe the next one will rank 2nd, and the next one will rank 1st. And then I have 3 sites in the SERPs as opposed to just one. So, and again, especially when, it doesn't take a lot of effort to create these sites. I mean, you have the data set, you have the idea, and then if you have, an additional idea, okay, again, just make a new thing. And then you still have that, the old thing as far as its configuration and how it was designed and how it was implemented. You still have that, and now you have the second thing that this additional information that you can add in there. And then, I wonder if I made like a kind of like a spin tax testimonial, which I see on some sites, and like the dating niche. They'll have, like, again, spin tax testimonials, and you go to 6 pages and they're all the exact same testimonials. The only difference is the sentences are a different order, and they plug in the name of the platform. So I'm like, what if that could be implemented? And, generate or create 10 sentiments, and then 10 more, and then 10 more. And that's what combine into like 10,000 unique, 1,000? I think 1,000 unique, combinations. Then of course, you can plug in the name, concatenate that, join in there, and you got all kinds of things that can work. So, I don't think moving forward, once something is pushed, it's pushed. If I want to make an improvement to that push, I'm gonna do it on a new push. It's a new week, it's a new year, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.